In a world where love defies expectations, Emily's life takes an unexpected turn when she meets Thomas, a man with a hidden past. Their journey is filled with secrets, challenges, and a love that conquers all. Stay tuned to witness a tale of courage, forgiveness, and the power of true love. Hello, family. Welcome to Storytime Beachly. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting stories. Like and share this video to your friends and loved ones. Thank you as you do so. Sit back, relax as we dive into the story. In the heart of New York City, where skyscrapers kissed the sky and dreams took flight, lived a young woman named Emily. She was the only child of the prestigious Johnson family, known far and wide for their wealth and influence. Emily's life was a tapestry of luxury, designer clothes, lavish parties, and exotic vacations. Yet, amidst all the glitter and glamour, she felt an emptiness that gnawed at her soul. Emily yearned for something more than the superficial conversations and material possessions that filled her days. She longed for genuine connections, for people who saw her for who she was, not for her family's name or fortune. This longing led her to explore the city, seeking out places where she could find solace and perhaps a sense of purpose. One sunny afternoon, Emily found herself strolling through Central Park. The leaves rustled gently under her feet, and the soft hum of distant traffic was soothing. As she walked, she noticed a man sitting on the sidewalk, his back against a tree. He was dressed in worn-out clothes, and a small, faded cap lay upturned beside him, holding a few coins. In his hands, he held a cardboard sign with the words, "Anything helps. God bless." There was something about the man that caught Emily's attention. His eyes, though weary, held a warmth that was both inviting and comforting. She hesitated for a moment before approaching him. As she drew closer, she noticed the lines etched on his face, telling stories of hardship and resilience. "Hello," Emily said softly, offering him a gentle smile. The man looked up, his eyes meeting hers, and he returned the smile. "Hello," he replied, his voice steady and calm. "Thank you for stopping by." Emily reached into her bag and pulled out a sandwich she had bought earlier. She handed it to him, along with some money. "Here, I hope this helps," she said. The man accepted the offering with gratitude. "Thank you, miss. You're very kind," he said. "I'm Thomas, by the way." "Emily," she replied, extending her hand. Thomas shook it gently, his grip firm yet gentle. Over the next few weeks, Emily found herself returning to the park, always seeking out Thomas. They would sit together, sharing stories and laughter. Thomas spoke of his experiences, of the people he had met, and the lessons he had learned. Emily listened, captivated by his wisdom and humility. She found herself opening up to him, sharing her dreams and fears, her hopes and disappointments. Thomas was unlike anyone she had ever met. He was humble, wise, and had a unique perspective on life. Despite his circumstances, he radiated positivity and gratitude. He taught Emily the value of simple pleasures, of finding joy in the smallest of things. She began to see the world through his eyes, and it changed her. As their bond deepened, Emily found herself looking forward to their meetings. She would often bring him food, and sometimes they would share a meal together. Their conversations were filled with laughter and warmth, and Emily felt a connection she had never experienced before. One day, as they sat under the shade of a tree, Emily looked at Thomas and realized that she had fallen in love with him. It was a love born out of respect and admiration, a love that saw beyond appearances and circumstances. She knew that her family would never approve, that they would see Thomas as nothing more than a beggar. But in her heart, she knew that he was so much more. Emily struggled with her feelings, torn between her love for Thomas and her loyalty to her family. She knew that choosing Thomas would mean facing their disapproval, perhaps even their rejection. But she also knew that she couldn't ignore the feelings that filled her heart. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park, Emily made her decision. She would follow her heart, no matter the consequences. She looked at Thomas, her eyes filled with determination and love. "Thomas," she said, her voice steady and sure, I want to be with you. I don't care what anyone says or thinks. I love you, and that's all that matters. Thomas looked at her, his eyes filled with surprise and joy. Emily, he said, his voice filled with emotion. I love you too. And I promise, no matter what happens, I will always be by your side. And so, under the setting sun, Emily and Thomas made a promise to each other, a promise to face whatever challenges came their way, together. Little did they know, their love story was just beginning, and it would be a journey filled with surprises, revelations, and ultimately, a love that would conquer all. Emily's heart was filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation as she walked home from the park. Her mind was a whirlwind of thoughts, each one centered around Thomas and the promise they had made to each other. She knew that her family would never approve of their relationship, but she also knew that she couldn't ignore the love that filled her heart. The Johnson family lived in a grand mansion on the Upper East Side, a symbol of their wealth and status. As Emily entered the house, she was greeted by the familiar sight of opulence, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and expensive artwork adorning the walls. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for the conversation that lay ahead. Emily found her parents in the living room, engaged in a quiet conversation. Her mother, Victoria, was elegantly dressed, her hair perfectly coiffed. Her father, Richard, was reading the newspaper, his glasses perched on the bridge of his nose. They looked up as Emily entered, their expressions curious. "Emily, dear, you're home," Victoria said, a smile gracing her lips. "We were just discussing the charity gala next week. I hope you'll be attending." Emily hesitated for a moment before taking a seat opposite her parents. She clasped her hands in her lap, her heart pounding in her chest. "Mom, Dad, there's something I need to tell you," she began, her voice steady despite the nervousness she felt. Her parents exchanged a glance, their curiosity piqued. "Of course, dear," Richard said, folding the newspaper and giving her his full attention. "What is it?" Emily took a deep breath, her mind racing with the words she had rehearsed countless times. "I've met someone," she said, her voice filled with conviction. "His name is Thomas, and I've fallen in love with him." Victoria's smile faded, replaced by a look of concern. "Thomas?" she asked, her brow furrowing. "Who is he? What does he do?" Emily hesitated, knowing that her next words would change everything. He's a beggar," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But he's so much more than that. He's kind, wise, and humble. He's taught me so much about life and love." The room fell silent, the weight of Emily's words hanging heavy in the air. Victoria's face paled, and Richard's expression darkened. They stared at their daughter, disbelief and shock etched on their faces. "A beggar?" Richard finally said, his voice laced with disdain. "Emily, have you lost your mind? You can't possibly be serious." Emily's heart ached at the disappointment in her father's voice, but she stood her ground. "I am serious, Dad," she said, her voice steady. "I love Thomas, and I want to be with him." Victoria's eyes filled with tears, her voice trembling as she spoke. "Emily, think about what you're saying," she pleaded. "You have a bright future ahead of you. You can't throw it all away for a beggar." Emily's heart ached at her mother's words, but she knew that she couldn't let their disapproval sway her. She loved Thomas, and she was willing to face any consequences to be with him. "I've made up my mind, Mom," she said, her voice filled with determination. "I love Thomas, and I want to marry him." The room fell silent once again, the tension palpable. Richard's face was a mask of anger, his voice cold as he spoke. "If you choose to marry this beggar, you will no longer be a part of this family," he said, his words cutting like a knife. "You will be disowned, Emily. Is that what you want?" Emily's heart sank at her father's words, but she knew that she couldn't let their threats deter her. She loved Thomas, and she was willing to face any challenges that came her way. "I understand, Dad," she said, her voice filled with sadness. "But I can't ignore the love that fills my heart. I choose Thomas, no matter the consequences." With those words, Emily stood up and left the room, her heart heavy with the weight of her decision. She knew that she had made the right choice, but the thought of losing her family was a painful one. Over the next few days, Emily prepared for her new life with Thomas. She packed her belongings, leaving behind the luxuries she had once taken for granted. She found solace in the simplicity of her new life, in the love that filled her heart. Meanwhile, Thomas was overwhelmed by Emily's courage and determination. He had never expected her to choose him over her family, and he was humbled by her love. He promised to stand by her side, no matter what challenges they faced. Their wedding was a simple affair, attended by a few close friends. They exchanged vows under a beautiful oak tree in the park, where they first met. It was a day filled with love and happiness, despite the absence of Emily's family. As they stood there, hand in hand, Emily and Thomas knew that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. They had chosen each other, and they were ready to face the world together, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Their journey was just beginning, and they were determined to make it a beautiful one, filled with love, courage, and unwavering faith in each other. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months as Emily and Thomas began their new life together. They moved into a small, cozy apartment on the outskirts of the city, far from the glitz and glamour of Emily's former life. Their home was modest, filled with simple furnishings and the warmth of their love. Emily found joy in the simplicity of their new life. She enjoyed cooking meals with Thomas, exploring the city on foot, and spending quiet evenings reading together. She no longer missed the luxuries she had once taken for granted. Instead, she cherished the moments of genuine connection and the love that filled their home. Thomas, too, was happier than he had ever been. He had always chosen to live a simple life, despite having the means to live in luxury. He found contentment in the small pleasures of life, a good book, a warm meal, and the company of the woman he loved. He was grateful for Emily's unwavering support and the love she brought into his life. One sunny afternoon, while Emily was cleaning their apartment, she stumbled upon an old, worn-out suitcase tucked away in the corner of their closet. Curiosity piqued. She decided to open it, hoping to find some old photographs or mementos from Thomas's past. As she rummaged through the suitcase, she found a hidden compartment tucked away in the lining. Inside, she discovered a stack of documents, yellowed with age and carefully folded. Her heart raced with anticipation as she unfolded the papers, her eyes scanning the words written on them. What she read left her speechless. The documents revealed that Thomas was not a beggar but a billionaire. He had inherited a vast fortune from his family, including properties, investments, and a successful business empire. The documents detailed his assets, his investments, and his philanthropic endeavors. Emily's mind raced as she tried to process the information. She couldn't believe that Thomas had kept such a significant secret from her. She felt a mix of shock, confusion, and betrayal. She had always believed that their love was built on honesty and trust, and this revelation shook the very foundation of their relationship. With a heavy heart, Emily confronted Thomas that evening. She showed him the documents, her voice trembling as she spoke. "Thomas, what is this?" she asked, her eyes filled with tears. "Why didn't you tell me the truth?" Thomas looked at the documents, his expression a mix of surprise and regret. He took a deep breath before speaking, his voice filled with sincerity. "Emily, I'm sorry," he said. "I never meant to deceive you. I wanted to be loved for who I am, not for my wealth." He explained that he had chosen to live a simple life to understand the struggles of the less fortunate. He had seen firsthand the corruption and greed that often accompanied wealth, and he wanted to use his fortune to make a difference in the world. He had fallen in love with Emily because of her kindness and genuine nature, and he didn't want his wealth to influence their relationship. Emily listened to Thomas's explanation, her heart aching with the weight of his words. She understood his reasons, but she couldn't ignore the pain of his deception. She had always believed that their love was built on honesty and trust, and this revelation had shaken her faith in their relationship. Over the next few days, Emily and Thomas had long, heartfelt conversations. They talked about their fears, their dreams, and their hopes for the future. Emily expressed her hurt and betrayal, and Thomas listened, his heart filled with remorse. He apologized sincerely, promising to never keep secrets from her again. As the days passed, Emily began to see the situation from Thomas's perspective. She realized that his wealth didn't change who he was or how she felt about him. She remembered the moments of genuine connection they had shared, the love that filled their home, and the happiness they found in each other's company. Slowly, Emily began to forgive Thomas. She understood that his intentions were pure, that he had kept his secret out of a desire to be loved for who he was, not for his wealth. She realized that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle, and she was willing to put the past behind them and move forward together. With renewed faith in their relationship, Emily and Thomas decided to use their wealth to make a difference in the world. They established foundations, funded charities, and supported causes close to their hearts. They continued to live a simple life, using their fortune to help those in need and bring happiness to others. Their love story became a testament to the power of forgiveness, understanding, and unwavering faith in each other. They faced the challenges that came their way with courage and determination, their love growing stronger with each passing day. And as they looked towards the future, they knew that together, they could overcome any obstacle and create a beautiful life filled with love, happiness, and endless possibilities. As Emily and Thomas continued to build their life together, they found a sense of purpose and fulfillment in their philanthropic endeavors. They established foundations that supported education, healthcare, and community development, using their wealth to make a tangible difference in the lives of others. Their love for each other grew stronger with each passing day, and they found joy in the simple pleasures of life. Meanwhile, Emily's family had been keeping tabs on her from a distance. Despite their initial disapproval, they couldn't help but notice the positive changes in Emily's life. They saw how happy she was with Thomas and how he treated her with love and respect. They began to regret their harsh words and realized that they had been wrong to judge Thomas based on his appearance. Victoria, Emily's mother, was the first to reach out. She sent Emily a heartfelt letter, expressing her regret and asking for forgiveness. She admitted that she had been blinded by her prejudices and that she now saw the genuine love and happiness that Emily and Thomas shared. She hoped that they could find it in their hearts to forgive her and welcome her back into their lives. Emily was touched by her mother's words. She had missed her family dearly, and the thought of reconciling with them filled her with joy. She showed the letter to Thomas, who encouraged her to reach out to her mother and extend an olive branch. With a heart full of hope, Emily invited her mother to their home. Victoria arrived, her eyes filled with tears of regret and joy. She embraced Emily tightly, apologizing for her past mistakes and expressing her love and support for her daughter's choices. The reunion was emotional, filled with tears and heartfelt conversations. Victoria met Thomas formally for the first time, and she was struck by his humility and kindness. She saw the love he had for her daughter and the genuine happiness they shared. She welcomed him into the family with open arms, grateful for the positive influence he had on Emily's life. News of the reconciliation spread to the rest of the Johnson family. Richard, Emily's father, was initially hesitant, but he too began to see the error of his ways. He reached out to Emily, expressing his regret and asking for her forgiveness. He admitted that he had been wrong to judge Thomas and that he was proud of the woman Emily had become. Emily and Thomas welcomed Richard into their home, and the family shared a heartfelt reunion. They talked about the past, the present, and the future, their conversations filled with love, understanding, and forgiveness. Richard apologized to Thomas, acknowledging his worth and welcoming him into the family. The reconciliation brought a sense of closure and healing to the family. They realized that their love for each other was stronger than any disagreement or misunderstanding. They vowed to support each other, to communicate openly, and to cherish the bonds that united them. Emily and Thomas continued to live a simple life, using their wealth to make a difference in the world. Their love story became a testament to the power of love, understanding, and forgiveness. They faced the challenges that came their way with courage and determination. their love growing stronger with each passing day. As they looked towards the future, they knew that together, they could overcome any obstacle and create a beautiful life filled with love, happiness, and endless possibilities. Their journey had been filled with surprises, revelations, and challenges, but through it all, their love had remained steadfast and true. And so, Emily and Thomas lived happily ever after, their love a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who knew them. That brings us to the end of this video. Kindly support me by sharing my videos to your friends and loved ones. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like and comment what you feel about the story. Thanks for watching.